Hey, everybody. Just welcome to today's show, today's episode. Today we have a guest, Bill Duerr of Hatteras Printing. Welcome, Bill.
Hey, Warren, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And I'll just tell you today, I invited you on. Why? And I hope this doesn't go to your head, but I really think you guys have an awesome company. I've seen the company for way back before you were in charge, when Dad was in charge. Maybe I started liking it because of Hatteras, the boat, and everything else he was talking to me about when we met. But all kidding aside, I'm watching you. You're in the New Jersey, New York area, and you seem to be on fire all the time, right? You don't seem to be stopping. So why don't you just give me a little lowdown on the company? I can see you want it because you're smiling, but let us know about Hatteras.
Cool. Well, I appreciate the kind words. We try our best to promote the brand and put ourselves out there because ultimately our clients are trusting us with their brand. So we want to show them we take our brand and our presence in the marketplace seriously. So Hatteras is a company. We've been around 41 years. I'm 41 years old, so I've literally been around the company my whole life. My dad started it in 1983 with 4 people, 2 months after I was born. So now that I have 2 little ones of my own, I have a lot more respect for what he did at that time and kind of the risks he took. Now I've been here full time for 15 years. And since I walked in the door here, everybody outside of the company was like, why are you going into print? Print's dying. And I couldn't be more happy to just prove them wrong. Print's changing. We're changing with it. And, you mentioned we're on fire. Unfortunately, we're only as good as our last job. So every day we show up here, we start from zero, and we've got to set out to prove ourselves day in and day out, because as soon as we get comfortable, somebody's passing us by or we're losing an opportunity. So that's kind of the mindset we try to bring to the company. And, my dad said it since day one: if we don't take care of the customer, somebody else is gonna. And ultimately, the way that we differentiate is not because we're good at printing. We differentiate by the way we make people feel and delivering peace of mind. And it's an experience, in working with us. And that's really, we try to leave people happy, leave them feeling good. We try to set clear expectations and deliver on our promises. And if we do that, we've got long lasting relationships, but we've got to work hard to execute that mission every day.
So you said it's not about the printing, but you're wrong, because your printing is great. The quality is great. Nothing goes out of your shop that isn't great.
But it has to be. It has to be great.
No, I agree. I just wanted to say that quality. First of all, every printer today should be doing quality with the equipment out there, because first of all, I don't know of any digital press, offset press, or anything that doesn't produce something nice, or they wouldn't be selling. A person has to find what they need for their shop that works for them in terms of price and everything, but everyone should be doing nice work. And unfortunately, not everybody is, which at the same time might be a good thing, because it allows companies like yourself to, shine above the rest. So when I said on fire, I meant the work you do, I meant your people, but you're cutting edge, staying up on technology, right?
Yeah.
So where does that come from?
Well, if you're not reinvesting in the business, it's a capital intensive business. If you're not reinvesting and keeping up with the technology, you're going to get left behind. And, we've grown the company by listening to our customers and reinvesting in the company based on the needs of the marketplace. And that's a good thing about being a privately owned company. We answer to our clients. They are our stakeholders. So me and my dad essentially report to them. And that's how we've determined the direction of the company and where we're going to reinvest. I think one of the challenges for us as we become more diverse, and we've got offset, digital, and large format now, we've got to keep all those departments at a certain standard, right? So we're always reinvesting. And if we put too much resources into one area, the other's now behind. So keeping, everything kind of up to a certain standard from an equipment standpoint is a challenge, but it's just, we have to make sure we're strategic and not just being reactive to the latest and greatest thing that's out there.
Yeah, that's pretty tough because I remember stuff, new equipment, new technology used to come out and I used to like it and want to buy it right away. And sometimes I did, and sometimes it wasn't the best choice, kind of like a car, as much as you like it. What do they say? Never buy the first year of that model, right? How do you determine what technology you want to invest in at what time?
Yeah, so we go to we go to Drupa every 4 years, or this last one every 8 years. We talk with our suppliers regularly to make sure we're staying up on the latest and greatest, and then we measure the mix of work that's coming into the shop and see where the growth is coming from, and seeing where those opportunities exist in the marketplace. So it's a little bit of outside looking at what's out there, and then listening to our clients, seeing the mix of work and seeing where the opportunities to gain efficiencies are. And usually when we make an investment, we want to take an existing piece of business that we already have and make it more efficient or higher quality to justify the investment. But then we also want that piece of equipment to be able to do something new and different that we don't currently offer. So we justify the investment with an existing piece of business, and then we add something on for business that we don't yet have that we can now go and get, because we don't want to ever take the approach of like build it and they will come, because the last thing we want is some equipment here on the floor that we got a big payment on and we don't have any work for. So we try to find the balance.
Yeah, so I'll tell you I like what you said about that. We don't build it and they will come. I will tell you, they don't come anymore. That was an old school thinking. When cash was flowing and companies didn't care what they were spending, you could build it. You could buy anything and build any niche if you wanted to. Today, I don't think companies in general have that luxury. Right? There's the financial aspect of it. There's the technology aspect of it, and then I think the biggest uh, area where people are experiencing the most difficulty is the human labor side, right? If you're in the offset business, I mean, how old are your pressmen on your offset presses? I'm going to assume some of them are probably in their late 50s, early 60s, maybe a touch more.
Yeah, I mean, I think quite a few of them are in the twilight of their career. We have had a little bit of luck lately, bringing some guys in that are, more in my age range, in their 40s, which has been, a welcome change for us. And then we've been trying to do a lot.
I just want to interrupt you because of thoughts there. Um, why did they come to you? And like wherever they were, they're in that age range. Why'd they come to you?
Well, I couldn't tell you from their perspective, but some of the things I think about are, the way that we have a presence and a brand and a company that feels, very much alive. I think just as much as our marketing works for our sales team to attract new business, it works for, our company and our human resources area to attract new employees. And I put a post up on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago. Our logo is a lighthouse. Lighthouses are always on, but they're there when ships need them. Our marketing is our lighthouse. It's always on and it's there when people need it. So somebody's looking for a new job in the printing industry, they're going to go online, they're going to vet you out, they're going to check your website, they're going to check your social media presence. And that's whether they're a pressman or an account manager or a salesperson. So that brand presence, it's creating a feeling. And, whether it's creating a feeling for a prospect or a future employee, it's always on and it's there when people need it. So I couldn't tie a dollar amount to the amount of sales our marketing is driven. I couldn't tie an employee count to the number of employees it's helped us to attract, but I can guarantee you it's made an impression on anybody who's interacted with it and differentiated us from other companies that are out there.
Yeah, so the marketing. So, yeah, I'm going all off course because all the keywords you're saying are making me think of things. But so the marketing, again, love your marketing. I love that it's consistent. I love that you're always doing something. I love motivational Mondays because it's a nice image and it makes you smile. And I've always been a believer in marketing. And I particularly like what you said about the marketing and the press person, because everyone I talk in print about marketing, I always say, You're marketing your company. It's not about just to your customer. You're marketing to the people that might come work for you. You're marketing to the people that work for you so they know what you're doing, because not everybody knows what you do within the company.
Right.
Yet I'm always so amazed at how many printing companies don't do any marketing.
I'm with you. And you know, I want our marketing to speak to everyone who's out there, not just other people in the printing industry. I want it to just make a lasting impression. So when somebody who has nothing to do with printing meets somebody that does, they can go, oh, you should call that company Hatteras. Because when they think of printing, I want them to think of us.
Yeah. So I'll give you a quick idea. I once saw a magazine where the editor signed off editor and angler. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. So I went and made my business cards back then, and it said, founder and fisherman. But then I went, and then I noticed the best thing about that was when I would go out on the road and meet people and I'd hand them the card, they'd look at it and they'd all have a fish joke, or did you mean flounder? Or my grandmother took me fishing, and it was an instant icebreaker. So I went out and I made business cards for every single person in the company with their hobby or passion. Even the pressmen got a card. They didn't get an email address, but they got a card. What does the card do? First of all, it makes them proud that they're somewhere because you've invested in them, even though it's a small token amount of money. You've given them something with your company and their name on it. And then they have what to give out, right? And then by having everyone's passion, it just lets people know more about the person.
I like that.
So and even today I have it everywhere. And because of that, everywhere I go, everyone knows I kind of fish. And then everybody wants to go fishing with me. So it's just a little bonus.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Little beautiful thing. Okay, next thing I want sustainability. So before you answer, sustainability, from what I hear, from what I see, is a really big word. It's almost Greek because it could be this long. And there's a lot of meanings to it. So a lot of big companies are pushing it, but don't mean it. A lot of companies are pushing it. They want sustainable practices, and then all of a sudden it comes down to the printer and they're quoting and they give it to the guy who's not sustainable. So my question to you is, what's your feeling? What's your honest feeling on the sustainability? Yes, we agree we all need it in the world because the world is broken. Is it fixable? Hard to say. But don't name any customers, but in all the people you talk to, we'll leave it general so no one knows who they're talking about. What's the deal with sustainability?
Super important. Also a corporate buzzword. So we do a lot here to be as sustainable and as eco-friendly as possible. I think, when we think about it, you think about the little footer on a lot of emails that we used to see a lot more. Don't print this email. Please consider the environment, blah, blah, blah. Then we have this big movement against plastic, and then all of a sudden paper is in favor again. It's tough because, we get our corporate clients coming to us and saying, we need more sustainability. And they just kind of pound their hand on the table and say sustainability. So we do a lot here. We're FSC certified. We're one of the 60 companies or so in the country that holds the Sustainable Green Printing Partnership certification. But within each client and each different project, depending on the end use, there's the environmental, there's the economic, and there's the social aspect to everything, right? So there's always this challenge. And I've been to a bunch of conferences lately, specifically around packaging, where, the brands want to be more sustainable, but they're scared to change the packaging because they're scared that the consumer's not going to like the new packaging and that may impact sales, or they're scared to pay a little bit more because procurement, isn't going to allow it and they can't figure it out in the budget. So there's just kind of all these aspects of making things more sustainable that are contradictory to other corporate initiatives. So what we've tried to do as a company is, yes, we can source you sustainable materials, and we can also ensure that the facility that we're producing it in is as eco-friendly and environmentally responsible as possible. And then it comes down to, budget, material availability, and turnaround time. And what's more sustainable? producing a store graphic one time on a styrene and it lasting for a really long time, or producing it on paper 6 times throughout the year because it warped every 3 weeks in the store environment. So there's so many variables that have to be considered. And I just kind of went in 20 different directions, but that's kind of the environment that we're in. Is there's all these factors that play into it. And I think at the end of the day, the easiest thing to do is, source it from a responsibly maintained supply chain and make sure it accommodates what the client's looking for from an end use perspective.
Yeah, so it's funny when you're right, when they had on the bottom of emails, do not print this. My email said, print this email as many times as you want. Paper is a renewable resource.
Right.
Because it made me crazy. I still haven't figured out what the sign is for recycling or recyclable. And I don't think anyone ever knew that one either, because one's shaded in and one's like a screener. I don't know what it is. Right. But yeah, so I'm all for doing the right thing with sustainability, but as long as everyone should be on the same page. Let me touch a hot topic of sustainability for me, FSC. How much money do you spend a year on that certification?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
All right, you spend $4,000, give or take. Do you think that there's a need for the printer to be FSC certified if the paper's coming in a box labeled FSC certified?
I mean, for us, spending $4,000 in the grand scheme of things to be able to check that box, I think it's money well spent, to be honest with you, at my size, at the size of the company. Because a lot of our, these big corporate clients, they require it. And when we get to this in RFI, where we've got to fill out certain information, if we're not able to check that box, we don't even get to the RFP.
Right. So my take, not to get you in trouble for saying anything, because I could say what I want. My take is that the FSC certification for printers is pretty much full of shit. And the reason is, what you just said to me is marketing. And I was FSC certified, SFI certified, and PEFC certified. So I did all three, $12,000 a year to be marketable and caring, right? And then I remember an FSC up until the printer is great, but I always questioned, why do we got to take time and make these dockets and go in, send an email with a paperwork or something? They only care about the paper, and if the paper's coming in already boxed, what most companies don't even want the logo on it anymore because it doesn't look good. So I just remember when they came into my office one day, I sat in the audit room with them. The whole day I sat there for like 6-7 hours. She had 4 dockets or 6 dockets to go through, and I wanted to understand for the $4,000 what she's doing. It's just at that level, it's just the top 3 accounting firms or firms that do the certification, and they're charging you. Because out of that $4,000, the firm's charging $3,000 for their time. I'd rather give $1,000 donation to a forest.
I would agree, but isn't that what a lot of these governing bodies do in North America? I mean,
totally agree. I'm just saying on the print side, for the average printer, which is a lot smaller than you, $4,000 is $4,000, the time to do it. And I even remember doing a job once where for an environmentalist, I didn't have time to send them the paperwork because it came in the afternoon and there was something that night. So for the biggest environmentalist in Canada, actually, and at the time, we sent in the papers the next day, and then I get a call or something or a conversation about, like, if you do that again, you're going to risk losing your certification. And I'm like, I just did it for the most environmentally friendly guy in the country. You think I'm playing games?
Right.
So that's just when I thought they just push it. I think we need to do all the right stuff, but we got to limit the cost to our business because printers just don't have the money to do all that.
Right.
Especially today, does the client want quality work on a quality machine, or do they want to be FSC certified, but nobody really cares because then they go and laminate the piece? Right?
Yeah.
So I kind of just chuckle with all of that. And even, the guy who's giving me the story on sustainability is driving a Tesla. Nobody talks about the batteries.
Right.
Nobody talks about mining all the cryptocurrencies. Anyways, I'm just saying that people should leave us alone a little bit when it comes to sustainability, because most of us are doing the right thing. Most of the ink manufacturers are making ink the right way. The coatings people are doing their best. So if everyone's doing their best, I say skip the certification. Go to the manufacturers.
Yeah. No, I understand.
You know, but you don't have to agree. It's okay. I understand. I'll be speaking to a lot of printers that are probably just go, I hope the listeners are sitting there laughing as they watch some people squirm. Okay, we'll move on from sustainability. Your people, as you said, are really what makes it all happen. Where do you get your people? How old are your people? How do you keep your people?
So we've got a big mix here. We've got the seasoned vets and we've got the up and comers. You know, a lot of our people have been with us a long time. I think we're celebrating some 35-year anniversaries at this year's holiday party.
Wow.
And then we've got, you know, some awesome up and comers who, you know, came to us outside of the industry that have, you know, just been made up of the right stuff and fit culturally. And then we teach them what they need to know on the printing side. So we don't really have one particular place. I mean, I think the unfortunate thing is like, you know, when you're in the printing industry and you need to find somebody who's a pressman, you got to steal them from a competitor. That's just the nature of it. We can bring somebody in on the back of the press or as floor help and kind of train them up. But if we have an urgent need, you know, you've got to be more attractive than their existing employer and you got to go find them. So we do a lot, you know, to recruit. We have a full-time recruiter that we have, you know, he's not on staff, but he's basically under contract with us. So he works real closely with all of our department managers and our HR team to help us find the people we need. And then when it comes to like the up and comers, you know, we have some newer salespeople who hadn't been involved in the industry, but they had some sales experience and a fire in their belly. And we taught them what they need to know. And, you know, within 18 months, they could be up and running and a real contributor to the sales team if you could train them right. So
just so a couple things you said there. Best people that come into our industry now are the people that weren't in it before, because you don't have to erase anything they think they know from wherever they were that thought they were doing it right when they weren't.
Yep.
We got a lot of, and I don't, no disrespect to anyone, we got a lot of legends in their own mind, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and even some of my customers, people that have bought printing companies and have called me, was even a little easier to work with because they were more sponge-like. They took in everything that you were saying instead of giving it back.
Yeah.
Right. So that was, you know, that was something. Your marketing for sure helps. 18 months. It's funny you say that because I was just talking with someone that wanted to hire somebody or looking to hire a salesperson. And I say this to everyone. You're hiring a salesperson. It's 12 to 18 months before they hit their target. If you have any expectations of them doing it sooner than that, you are setting yourself up and them for failure. If they're coming over from another business and they have $1 million, they're bringing 250. Customers don't leave places anymore to follow salespeople because the customers invested too much money in the company, right?
Yeah.
And the 18 months. So the other thing that, you know, you said you reach out to a lot of different people. We used to have a recruiter, headhunter, call him whatever you want, killer, that would go out and call other companies. And I never really wanted to call the companies that I knew, like the owners, well, just to kind of have some type of repertoire, you know, with each other. But then I was talking to one day and I said, you know what? I go, I'm not making the call. And I would never make the call. But if my recruiter calls your company, would you have a problem with that? And he was like, well, yeah, but I said, well, let me give you another spin. If the recruiter's calling, I said, wouldn't you rather he come to my company before he goes to someone that we don't like? Got to make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
I said, but the real deal is if you're treating your people right and they feel at home, they're not leaving for a couple dollars. Anyone who leaves your company to go somewhere else, you're not doing a good job of keeping them.
I would agree. I would
And
agree.
and I think that's what more owners, maybe in the smaller, medium, privately run companies, need to think about, because it's about the relationship, and that's how you keep people. And when you hire someone, if you see their resume, and that they bounce around every 2-3 years, you better be prepared for them to leave in 2 or 3 years.
Right.
I never even like to hire people that would bounce around like that, because just that's heading in for some trouble.
Yeah, it's a red flag for sure. And I mean, we're family owned business, and we play that up because ultimately, the teams who work here, all those people, they have a family too. So we have 270 employees. I look at that as 270 families that rely on this business being a business, and it's a job, but you got to enjoy coming to work every day. And the more our team members enjoy coming to work, the better experience it's going to be for their coworkers, the better experience it's going to be for our customers. So it's a big ecosystem, and we're all reliant on each other. Like today, we've got it's a special day here. We've got our sales team, like a 35-year tradition. The sales team buys turkeys for every single employee. The sales team does that themselves. So from
Cool.
right now, 2 to 4 o'clock, they're handing out turkeys in the parking lot. Me and my dad get pies for all the employees. So the sales team does the turkeys. We do the pies. We got a holiday party in early December. Sales team sponsors a lunch before, the new year. So we try to do a lot to just show that, we appreciate the employees and try to make it an enjoyable work environment.
And the truth is, they do. Right? I'm sure people come up to you and can thank you for everything you're doing. And, you're a pretty straight up guy. You're on the floor with them. You're moving around. You're talking. I remember we once I was working late and a truck was coming in and we had one crew on the big press, and I went downstairs and they were going to go off and unload the truck. And I'm like, no, that press has to run. And I went and I'm unloading a 53-foot truck in a jacket and pants, just for them to see. I don't care if I get dirty, big deal. But just for people to see you participating with them and moving around just gives the added push.
For sure.
What do you see happening within the world of print these days, or where is it going?
I think, there's a couple things that are changing. I think the knowledge on the buying side, continues to decline depending on who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do here is, become an extension of our customers, really understand their needs, ask the right questions, and make sure that we are steering them in the right directions and clearly setting expectations. It's a blessing and a curse, that comment that I just made. There could be a tremendous opportunity in it. There can also be a lot of risk. So we've got to make sure we ask a lot of questions, clearly understand what they're trying to accomplish, and then help shepherd them through the process. While that's also happening, we've all become accustomed to this like instant gratification, this Amazon experience. And I always joke, like, there's no machine in the back of the shop that just spits out finished pieces. So there's a process to everything, and trying to help educate our clients in a delicate way to understand that process and why we have to do what we do and why we have to go through what we go through is really critical for us to be successful. And then at the same time, finding more ways to automate internally to be able to respond to, the short run kind of rapid pace, of the marketplace. That's where things are shifting. So we're trying to balance all that out at one time. So a lot more technology, a lot more automation, better systems, better equipment, more built-in, SOPs and things like that. I mean, I keep mentioning family-owned business. We're also, at this place where we've got an opportunity to really grow the company here or kind of stay where we're at. And I think we've got to, remember what got us here and take it with us, but also let go of some of the bad habits to create room for, better processes, better automation, not being everything to everyone and being the right thing to the right customers.
Yeah, listen, it's all about the people, and for people themselves, if they want to grow, they have to learn. You can't not know something. That doesn't even make sense. I can't even speak English, but if you're not learning, you can't grow. And I'm learning stuff every day. Even I laugh even when I talk to my kids, or I'll say something. I'll go, no, I'm maturing now. I look at things a little differently.
Yeah.
And then they just laugh at me.
Yeah. And I've been pushing our team, just be comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's how we've continued to kind of level up. We keep putting ourselves in situations that we've never been in before, and we persevere and figure it out, and we get better by doing that. So if we're just like comfortable and everything's easy all day long, are we really growing? Are we really evolving? And that goes in your business and in your life.
It's just a treadmill
Right.
at that point. So
Yeah.
you said uncomfortable, changing. What are you doing anything with Are you doing anything with AI? Speaking of uncomfortable and changing.
Yeah. So I'd say right now, we use it more in a sales and marketing perspective. We're not using it within the business, so to speak, to kind of glean any insights yet. We're in the midst of an MIS system overhaul, so I think once we have.
No, wait, hang on a second. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah, but so is our current situation. So we're working on away from being in multiple systems to consolidating into one system. We have a go live, Q2 of 25. So we're very much in the midst of the implementation. But I see once we have more structured data, we'll be able to leverage AI more. Now we use it more, like we use a video recording tool that basically takes notes, does recaps, is a repository of all of our presentations, and we can kind of do some shared learning across our sales team and gain some insights through that. The team uses ChatGPT quite a bit to just finesse emails. So I don't encourage the team to just let ChatGPT write any emails for them, but hey, write your email, say what you need to say, and if it doesn't feel right, put it through ChatGPT to finesse it a little bit and tighten it up. And we use it in little pockets.
Okay. So I think for the shop floor that will be coming, I think that there's a lot of companies that you deal with or that everyone deals with. I mean, AI has been around for 20 years. It's just when they announced chat did it come out to the masses.
Right.
There's been a lot of learning. So I think there's a lot of stuff already in there that'll just pick up, and now everyone will be a little bit more, will be listening for it because now they know the buzzwords. ChatGPT, everyone should be using. I'll just give you a couple little insight because I'm also involved with, Steve Metcalf, and he was formerly AMS. And now we're doing Imagine AI Live. So I'm learning a whole lot of AI stuff real quickly from a whole lot of people. So the ChatGPT, number one, you should be paying with $20 for it, or tell the salespeople to pay because it's more robust. And then you have more opportunity of looking for other language models in there that you can use. If you take all the information you have, or a lot of stuff that you have, and you upload it to ChatGPT, it now knows more about Hatteras and all the different things that you've done. For the individuals, they could take some of their emails, some of the things that they've written, and upload it, and then they teach Chat to write or talk like them.
Right.
So I use it every day. There's this guy, Alex Northstar. If somebody wants on my YouTube channel, you can go find him, watch his thing, and then connect with him. His thing is to teach people how to save 2 hours a day out of their day. Right? So I take something, I'll upload it into chat, and I'll look at it, I'll go, ooh, and then I'll go, okay, make some prompts, changes. Then I'll say, make it sound like me. And instead of saying, dear Bill, it says, hey, Bill, like little things like that. And then you read it. No one should be afraid to use it because everyone's using it and that's what it's there for. Right? I suggest to some people on your LinkedIn, in the about space, take the about that you write, and everyone writes sometimes about the company, but it really should be about them. There's just a little sales thing. Have them take what they have, put it into ChatGPT and say, please rewrite this for my about on LinkedIn. Watch how it changes it and how much better you sound as a salesperson because it's more pointed and focused.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm telling everybody all those little things because I'm amazed with everything that's out there that people still just do what they do. And for me personally, I could save 25 minutes on a LinkedIn post. I go on my phone or computer and I'll dictate to chat what I want, prompt it, make changes, Boom, copy, paste, upload the picture of the video, 4 minutes. So I'm just promoting it to everybody in everybody's life.
Yeah,
I just think it's great.
I'm with you. Something I did. So we do a kickoff meeting every year, and I'm standing there and I'm talking and I'm trying to keep the team engaged. So this year, what I did was I came up with a little blurb about the company, and then each slide that I had in the presentation, I plugged the text in with the blurb about the company, and it created a background image for every slide for me. And then what I did was I printed out a big poster on my Indigos, and I gave everybody the poster with all the images on it. And I gave them all a paint marker. And during the meeting, I said, hey guys, this is your vision board for the year. I'm going to stand up here and talk for the next hour. I want you to write down the words, the phrases, the goals, the feelings that you have, and I want you to hang this up at your desk. So we use these AI images to kind of evoke an emotional response. And it was a way for me to keep everybody engaged during the presentation. And I'll walk around and everybody's got them at their desks with, the words for the year. And we did that back in the beginning of the year. And it was also a way for me to just get everybody to see kind of some of the fun things you could do, with AI, and a way you could, engage with it in a different kind of way to generate some imagery.
Yeah, I was speaking at a company with a whole sales team, and I was actually before I went there, I went onto LinkedIn, and I'm not going to use names, of course, but I went onto LinkedIn. I looked up 30 salespeople. I was horrified after 2 years of COVID and being home and on your computer and LinkedIn and everything that's out there to learn. People didn't have their work email addresses. They had their Gmail. So I'd say to someone, you looking for a job? Right? How come your phone number's not there? Well, I said, did you tell Google to not put up all your stuff? Because we're all findable. Everyone gets all these crazy things. And I ended up going through a lot of their LinkedIns and rewriting their post at home. Didn't take that long, and sent it to them and said, hey, what do you think? For no other reason than I wanted to try to get them thinking on their own and say, this is good. Or some of them are a little older and their LinkedIn's are nothing. And I'd say to them, why is your LinkedIn? Well, I don't have time. I said, listen, when you prospect a customer, what do? You go look at the company website. You go look at their LinkedIn. Right. I said, you're a vendor. They look at your LinkedIn. According to you, you don't exist. It's not hard to just stay current, right?
Right.
So I like what you said about keeping people up and giving them something to think about, because we got to get them to change. And for the people that don't want to change, my message is get out of our business and stop ruining it for the rest of us. We want to do things right. Right?
I'm with you.
Cool. All right. So any closing remarks you want before we come to an end? Because we can go all day and night talk about print.
No, I don't have anything other than I really appreciate you and you having me on here. I love what you're doing. I love when we run into each other in the real world or the across the internet here. And I just think print's alive, and I couldn't agree with you more. And you just got to keep changing with it.
Exactly. So everyone else there, just a quick plug. Printing's alive, just like the video, just like the podcast is called, the book. You want to buy it, you want to send me a picture. I promise you there's some good stories in there. And that's my little plug for me. But wow. Anyways, I'm going to just say thank you. Always a pleasure to talk to you anywhere. But really, I said it when we started. Love your company.
Thanks, Warren. I appreciate it.
When I was back in print, actually, our companies were a little similar until I didn't have one anymore. But you guys are on top of it. And when I bump into your team at different conferences, at D-Scoop, at the graphic shows, everybody's upbeat all the time. So kudos to you for great leadership.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Hopefully it's contagious and a few other people could pick it up. And I'm sure that everyone working for you, if they're listening to this, appreciates you and what you teach them, because if they didn't realize it before, you've added tremendous value to their life, and they should be appreciative of that, whether they're with you or somewhere else. But love the whole family thing, and one day I do hope to get out on the boat.
Come on down.
I know. I just got to do that. Everybody else, appreciate you listening. If you have any thoughts, let me know. If you want to be on, let me know. If you know anyone that you think should be on, let me know. Other than that, we'll see you the next go round. Thank you. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Warren.